All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming by, and I'm really glad you're here, Chris Petri. And I'm actually this is an exciting video for me. This is what I think I try to incorporate having fun in our watercolors. So watercolors can be stressful sometimes, when you pick up those paintbrushes and paints and and you say to yourself, oh, wow, I have to start painting, and, it's just, a little stressful. The watercolors don't always, handle the same way at all different times. A little bit of a temperature change in our room, in our house, whether it's a little cooler or a little hotter, can really affect a painting. If we're going to start doing a painting and, the heat is on and we don't realize it's a little bit warmer, that can make the paints dry faster. And then some days it might be cooler in wherever we're painting, in our house, our basement, and, whatever room or areas you paint in your home, or if you're outdoors, the same thing. If it's a hot, sunny day, the paints react differently. So I guess what I'm saying is, there are some stressors when it comes to watercolor painting. So if we can incorporate some real fun times with watercolor, some exciting, fun, loose, playful practice, then that will translate into our paintings and into our techniques as well. So that's what we're going to do that here now. And it's a lot, I can explain it this way. It's a lot like professional sports. Professional sports, whatever sport you like, there's times when they do fun things when they're practicing, and then there's times when they're more serious, so they have to be inside and they have to study all the films and the plays and the real details of their sport. But then there's times when they're out on the field practicing, and it's more of a fun atmosphere, and they might even have fun, playful type activities that they do on the practice field that are more, they're not so much stressful or goal orientated. It's just having fun practicing footwork or handwork or swinging the bat or the tennis racket or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like these type of fundamental things are done in a lot of professional sports and things like that. So I kind of, played sports all through my younger years and where I went to school. And so sports was very... It just seems like I can relate a lot of things to sports most of the times. In any case, let's do, right now we're just doing total fun time. We're not worrying about a painting or a drawing or anything like that. The most, serious thing we're going to do here is just label our painting. So here, let's practice some sky ideas, some clouds or sky ideas with our watercolors. I'm using some very inexpensive paints. And we're just going to have free-flowing fun. That's it. So here I'll just put down maybe the sky. I'll put it on here on my paper, and I'm using printer paper, normal printer paper, office paper. I'm not using watercolor paper because this is just going to be fast, free-flowing fun. And so I don't want to use my expensive papers for this. This is just to kind of just get the feel of the whole fun of things and the enjoyment of the colors and the watercolor and the splashing and the brushstrokes. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so this is just sky idea. And this way, if we go back and look at our papers, if we just store these, somewhere next to near our art table or wherever we work, we store these practice papers, and then we can go back and look at them and go, oh, I was thinking of a sky here, and this is what I was doing. And so we'll kind of have that idea as we go here. And then now for this first exercise, I just started off. I have fresh, clean water in my bucket here, and I'm using a large bucket here like this, fresh, clean water. I have it to my right. I have all my brushes and everything to my right-hand side, and then of course my palette is over here on the left. And let's try some sky colors. So let's do some blue. And this is just a fun play set here. Maybe it was $2 or $3 for this paint. And for fun exercises like this, it works perfect. Okay, a little bit of that cloudy feel with some brown color mixing in with the blue. All right, now we're just going to take our brush. See that? Let's just do that. Just take the paint and splash it on like this. Kind of just scrunch your brush up and do this. Just for fun, we practice that. Then we'll take some of that brown and blue mixture. which is more that cloudier feel, and we'll just go underneath maybe, like that. And just kind of splash it on, scrub it on a little bit. Then rinse the brush, and then maybe just blend it in a little. Just like that. Awesome. See that? Just splash. Have a good time. Okay, we'll do some more cloud ideas. Let's do just more of a stormier cloud. Brown, a little bit of black. Same thing. Just take the brush on there, maybe do a couple splashes like this. Now, of course, this paper is handling totally different than watercolor paper. So we're not worried about how this looks so much as we're just having fun and throwing some paint on the paper and doing some of this. Some splashing. Okay, just a little bit of scrubbing. And then maybe once we get warmed up after about 5 or 10 minutes, then maybe we can get some watercolor paper and we'll try some on there too. But just to start out with, we just have some fun like that. Okay, then I have some pins here, push pins. I'll start out with another fresh paper. We'll put this one to the side. Okay, there we go. And I'll just put a couple push pins here to hold the paper in place while we paint. Okay, now let's do some like fields. We'll do fields here. I'm just using a round brush. And then as we go, let's we'll wipe up our palette tube as we go, just to keep our paints a little bit more have more of a cleaner palette here, not as much muddy stuff. So let's go with some greens. We're going to do a field, greens and yellows, browns. Mix up a little bit of variety. Let's try that. Okay, here again, having fun. Just splash the brush on there. Maybe go across. It's a field. Take that brush, no worries. Just scoot the brush across the page like that. See, you hit the brush on the paper and then splay out the bristles and then just slide it on across like that. You know, I'm holding my brush about halfway. And then maybe we'll go with some brown here, orange, and maybe some more yellow, green. Maybe we'll make it a darker. Yeah, let's make it a darker green like this. And we'll just go across. Same thing. Like that. Looks great. And we're having fun. We're just splashing around. A couple splashes. Take our brush. Just, you know, splashing's real easy. We'll do a paper on just splashing as well. So if you can do this like once a week for like 15 minutes or so, it'll definitely translate into your paintings. Your paintings will become more looser, and you'll have more fun and have more of a looser technique starting to develop as you practice this. But it's got to be like a practice thing you do maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. You try doing this just for 15 or 20 minutes. What'll happen is it'll start to get ingrained in your mental process and your thinking and in your mind. And then when you're actually doing your watercolors with, you know, your normal everyday watercolors with your better paints and your better paper and all that, it'll really translate, and you'll see that this type of fun, loose type of style will become incorporated into your work. Okay, so that's just a little bit of fun there. A little more. Go across with a yellow, some more yellow there like that. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of sky too. And just scrub it on there. Again, play and fun. We're having fun. We're playing around with the paints. We're not, obviously printer paper that I'm using here, it's not going to react anything like watercolor paper. So it's just really, we're just going through the motions here of having fun with our brush, you know, swirling around, having a good time, getting that ingrained in our mind that we want to incorporate a more fun and loose style with our paints. All right, so we have some fields here. We'll do that. We'll put this to the side. We'll save this. We'll save these for our file. We'll keep a little file and just put them in a manila folder, and we can look back on it and remember it in a month or two. And we're going to get some more paper. Okay, and I'll use the push pins. Okay. Okay, so let's do some water. Let's do some like ocean. That's always fun. And then if these become dry, we just take a spritzer bottle like this. Holbein makes these. And we'll just spritz these paints. These are very inexpensive paints. And then let's do some ocean ideas here. So maybe I'll go with some dark, some greens, and a little bit of brown, some green, some blue. So we'll make this out here some darker. And I'm just taking my brush, loading plenty of paint in there, and then just having fun right across the page. There it is, a beautiful, distant horizon line with the ocean water, and then we just kind of have some fun there. That's all. Then as we come closer, let's do some more of blue and green. Look at how easy that is. This is fun. Now with water, ocean, you know, the waves, you just leave some white areas as you go. And you just take your brush, again, loose, fun. Playtime here. We're not serious right now. We're just having fun. Experiment. Do some fun things. Say, I'm going to go across the whole page in one brushstroke. There we go. Then maybe we'll splash a little bit. A couple splashes. Perfect. Makes it feel like there's water and waves crashing and splashes. There we go. Then we will go here a little more, some of that nice greenish aqua marine color. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, again, we're practicing ocean, water. Nice and free, no worries. It's just practice and fun here. Fun time. There we go, some splashes. Then, let's see. We could just add a little bit of maybe a sand color feel, brown and some yellow. Perfect. A little bit of sky color. Slosh the water on. A little bit of orange toward the horizon line. There we go. Excellent. Fun. We'll put our Sharpie marker label on this one, but this one's pretty self-explanatory with the ocean waves here and so forth. Okay, let's just do some splashing. Let's have a fun. We'll do some splashing techniques. Again, we don't need to. Maybe we'll change our brush size too. We'll get a smaller and a larger brush. Okay. Let's use some green, some brown, yellow. Okay, splash with some kind of, maybe these are some weeds and things. With like a medium-sized brush, and then we can go with a larger brush. We're having kind of a feeling of like grass or weeds. Maybe some bushes here. Then we could take the other smaller brush and do the... With a smaller brush, you can get finer splashing. So here we're going to practice our splashing. With a larger brush, you pick up more water, and you can get more big splashes like that. There we go. Just having fun. Some people, I've seen a lot of artists, they'll do splashing like that. They tap their brush on the, that works. That's really a good technique too. Tap on the brush with another brush, or some people tap with their hand. So you can get all kinds of different splashing techniques. And okay, so we had some splashing. So if you do this again once a week or once every couple weeks, a little bit of fun time. We'll do one more. We'll do one more here. Let's do maybe every once in a while we pick up one of those brushes we bought a couple years ago and we use it again. Here, let's try our sword liner brush. So we'll make like a green and brown, like a little bit of blue. And maybe we'll make some sword liner brushes are really nice. They're very pointy. And then we can just get some really cool squiggly lines for like tree branches and things like that. A couple splashes. Some weeds maybe, if we're doing a landscape or any kind of flower paintings, things like that. Sword liner is a great brush. You can get some really beautiful ornamental lines. You could also do, we can do some really interesting details like a fence. Like that. This will be a very loose type feel. If you're doing a painting and you have maybe some fine ornaments, you know, in the painting, and it's going to look like it's going to take forever to paint and draw, you know, you can use a sword liner brush and just do it really fast, and it looks beautiful. And again, it's practice and fun. That's all it is. And you might use something similar to this in a painting, but maybe not the same exact feel or look, but the idea is sort of there. And we can use, you know, we could do the same ornamental feel with, we use this brush a lot, our needlepoint brush. So we could do fine ornaments with this too. Some fencing. All right, so this is so much fun. Give it a try. It's again just simple, inexpensive paints. some office paper. So we have some really inexpensive office paper I use. I like to, keep my watercolor paper for my good paintings and my demonstrations here on YouTube. So if I'm just going to practice fun and loose style, which I've done a lot in the past, I don't do it as much anymore because I'm sort of already in that mindset of it's an ingrained pattern in my painting process and how I paint. But if you're kind of more painting tight and you want to loosen up, you can just do these kind of exercises, like I said, once a week for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And after a few months' time, you'll notice that when you're painting, you'll be using some of these techniques in your everyday painting because it's just you've incorporated it into your routine. All right, everyone. Have fun, enjoy. I'll put down my favorite one that we did so far. The ocean one I like the best, so I'll put this one back. And have fun with this. Have a great time, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Petri. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by my channel here. We're doing watercolor art 24/7. We're actually going to do a delightful painting today. We're going to use some simple subject matter. We'll do a still life. We have a coffee cup here. I have a plastic fruit, which is an orange, styrofoam. So you can use real subject matter. I have a large amount of faux fruit. If you look up faux fruit online, you can find really all kinds of great, every apples, oranges, grapes, you name it, pears and different style apples, green apples, Granny Smith apples, Red Delicious apples, every kind of fruit and vegetable you can imagine. Styrofoam. This looks very real, very convincing. They have a really beautiful detail, the way they created these. So you can find some really good quality faux fruit. And what's nice about this is you can put it into a bag or a duffel bag and bring it anywhere you want and practice watercolor. And you can also leave it in the studio. You don't have to worry about anything like bugs or things going rotting or anything like that. I leave my faux fruit in my studio, and I have everything: limes, lemons, you name it. Like I said, all as much as they've made every kind of faux fruit and vegetable you can imagine. So I'm going to use just a simple orange. I'm going to use a simple white coffee cup. I'll use also a picture. Maybe we'll create. Maybe I'll make a picture. Just like for. Sometimes I'll just recall. I have a numerous amount of pictures. Clear glass pictures for flowers. I have some. I have a couple white pictures for flowers. So I have all different kinds of still life things in my studio that I use, and also sometimes I'll just draw from memory, and maybe we'll do that here for some of our items. But again, be creative. Set up a couple little still life setups for yourself, and just practice on those. And here we'll do that. We'll set up a nice across-ring. I'm just going to set up a little few things. I'm going to take this here, and we're going to tape this down. Let's tape down our paper, our watercolor paper. Tape down our palette. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll tape this down first here. And it's always good to tape down our watercolor paper, and then tape off our sections that we want to. This way, when we're done with our exercises and our compositions, we can just take the tape off and we have a finished painting right there, waiting to put into a scrapbook, or we can put it on the wall and take, look at it for a few weeks or so and kind of critique it ourselves. That's always good to do. You take your paintings and you hang them up in your house, or give them away. You give them away sometimes too. Maybe you're going to sell them a few times here and there to friends, or gallery shows, whatever you do. But as an artist, it's always good to take your work and display it in your studio, in your house, and you can learn from it and say, I like that, I like this, I like that other thing I did there, and maybe I'd like to do this different next time. I think I could make it look better in this section or that section, or so forth. So always try to improve a little bit each time, and also enjoy the victories that you have when you're painting. So here, let's go in and we'll do just a simple composition, just so we can get some cool ideas here of. So I think I'll. So here I'm doing a pitcher, and then I'm going to do my coffee cup and the saucer. And I'm going to come around this way and we'll do our orange here. So this is just a fun composition. We're trying to and maybe we'll have a little bit of fun design on this. We'll do some blue ornamentation on this, and we'll do some more design here too. Do some more ornamentation on our. Just lightly here, I'm going to do a very light, just so I remember to have some ornamentation and interesting details on our vase here, our white vase. In this exercise, we should keep things loose, keep things fun. Maybe we'll pretend there's a little plant over top of this here, some flowers. Maybe there's a larger vase over here, and there's some leaves and things here. So we'll just make an indication of that. Okay, that looks good. And again, here we're having fun. We're just going to mix some colors and have a good time here. We're not worried too much about, is this a award-winning painting or anything like that. We're just having fun. We're going to practice the fundamentals of watercolor right now. So right now we just did our contour drawing. We went in, we looked at our subject matter. It could be from a book, from a picture. You might set up your still life with some cups and saucers and so forth, and fruit. You can use real fruit. You can buy faux fruit, and vegetables and all kinds of interesting things. You could, if you don't like those type of things, you can set up things that you have around the house that you like. Maybe you name it, anything, kitchen items, some of favorite heirlooms, things like that. Anything that you want, you can just really set them up and draw them and paint them. So here I'm just doing a nice loose representation of coffee cup and an orange and a white vase. We're going to do some blue ornamentation on this, and there's maybe a little some leaves here, and let's see how we can just make this fun. Alright, I'll get my brushes here. Okay, and I have fresh, clean water. Okay, let's get right in and we'll do some of the darks. Let's take some of that blue for our ornamentation. That is French ultramarine blue mixed with a little burnt umber, maybe a little burnt sienna. Okay. And maybe we'll blot out a little bit there. And maybe we'll go in with some sap green and some olive green. And we'll get a little bit of that leaf shape in there. This is fun, look at this. How easy is that? This is just absolute fun with colors, and all we did was really set down a nice little bit of contour drawing, nothing fancy. And now we're letting our paints do the fun, the work. A little splashing. Loosen things up, splash a little bit, have fun. Don't worry too much about how perfect it looks. We're having an enjoyable time here. Alright, so we have a little bit of blue for our ornament here, a nice little stripe going along the top of the vase. Let's do some cobalt blue. And just a little flicking around of the brush to pretend we know what we're doing. There we go. Another great little bit of design. And how about here? Maybe a little bit of mineral violet. We'll go over here, mineral violet, purple, mixed in with a little cobalt blue. Change up the color a little bit. There we go, another little flick of some detail, and we got it. There we go. And a little more here, maybe some more in detail on this beautiful vase here. And again, we'll go right into the French ultramarine blue, burnt umber, burnt sienna. And let's do a little okay, now we'll use our needlepoint brush. And we'll even get into some more fine detail. Even this is pretty fine detail right here, but let's get even to some additional fine detail. Let's perfect. Okay, now let's take a little bit of that green that we have mixed here and a little bit of the blue and purple over here, and let's do some shadowing. Maybe a little cerulean blue too. A little bit of yellow ochre too, mixing a little bit of warm. Okay, now we're doing negative shade painting. We're taking this area here and we're accentuating the light on this side of the vase over here. So the light's coming from here. If we want to make sure, we just take a light insignia like that with a light bulb. And we say the light's coming from here. A little more of yellow ochre, just to warm up that cool green and blue that we were using. Okay, now we're at the bottom of the vase, which is in shadow. The light is catching this side of the vase and the so we'll let that be like that. There we go. Now, to make sure that we accentuate the light on this side of the vase, we will put a little bit of green and blue over here. Maybe a little mineral violet. And maybe we'll just lightly fade this out over here. But this is good. Make sure we do a little bit of a darker dark over here. Again, negative shade painting. We're painting around the subject to make it appear. So if we didn't paint this tonal value, this little darker over here on this side of the vase, then that part of the vase would not look as if it's there. So we want to make sure we paint negative shade painting to keep our subject matter looking real. Let's do our orange. Fire in that beautiful orange, cadmium orange. How does that look? That looks great. Let's add a little cadmium red to the bottom section here of that cadmium orange, and some yellow ochre. And then as we go up, let's fade it a little bit and make it lighter up here. There we go. A little bit lighter up here. Even if you have to use the tissue and lighten it up a little bit on the top of the orange. Perfect. A little more cadmium red in the bottom. And then we can mix that on. We use a dry brush. We take our cleaner brush, dry it off on the tissue, and then we can take some straight paint right out of the palette and go right into the painting. Don't even worry about mixing it onto the palette. Just go straight into the palette and right into the paint, onto the painting. And just dance the brush around a little bit here and there. Rinse off the brush again, dry it really well with some tissue, and then you can just move the paint around a little bit. Rinse off the brush again, dry it again with no paint, no water, and then just you get a nice sense of light on the top of the orange. Plenty of darker tonal value on the shadow area here. The orange is catching more light on top. And then let's go in, we'll do a little bit of shadowing on our coffee cup. Maybe we'll use a little bit of alizarin crimson here in cadmium red. And maybe we'll just do some exciting red over here. Sometimes we don't always have to stick to what we see in front of us. We can add different things to make it look better. That's what I'm doing here. I'm adding orange and red over here a little bit just to make things look better. And I'll go in with some French ultramarine blue again, a little bit of green, a little bit of shadowing under there. Let's get back into some of the greens up here. Let's change our color a little bit, add a little more burnt umber, or add some burnt umber to that green, which would be sap green and olive green, just to give us a little bit of a different look. Keep things different. Big leaf, small leaf. I was noticing my drawing, everything was looking the same size. All the leaves here were looking the same size. That's not a good look. It's better to change things around a little bit, have things look different, non-symmetrical. So I had one larger leaf and one smaller one. And we'll put a little more green there. And some cerulean blue with some of that green. Then we can go into some yellow ochre. Then we can go back, we'll pick up our needlepoint brush, some raw umber and some of that yellow ochre, and dance the brush around a little bit just to get a little variety here. Then we'll go in, we'll get some more sap green. And again, negative shape painting. I'm going to paint around that handle a little bit. And just splash and I'll paint in that edge of this vase here. Maybe a shadow over here a little bit. Another little splash over here. And maybe some green over here just to balance things. So I'll put some green over here. Alright, that is it. That is how simple we can have things in watercolor. Just taking a couple simple things like a coffee cup, an orange. You can pick, lemons, limes, any kind of fruit, vegetable you like. You maybe put down a pitcher, maybe some leaves, some shapes of leaf forms next to it. You don't necessarily have to draw a bouquet of flowers. Here you could just put something nearby, just so you have a feeling of like this is near a bouquet of flowers or some a plant, some potted plants. You can expand this idea, make it a full painting, and then add in a potted plant or whatever you would like. But I think the key is it's really fun in watercolor to just do small parts of things. And once you practice small parts of things a lot, then you're sort of already ready to do it in a larger painting. Let's say if you want to make a large painting to frame or to bring to a gallery, if you're maybe going to have a gallery show, or if you have someone commissions you to do a painting for them and they see your work and love it and they want you to paint a painting for them, and they ask you if you can make it 18 by 24. So if we're always working in smaller format, that can be an issue. But if we paint our smaller format, smaller parts of the larger whole, then we can take this idea, add a potted plant to it within a larger painting, and then we have our painting. A coffee cup, a vase, a couple pieces of fruit, and a potted plant. We've already painted this, so now all we have to do is practice doing the potted plant a few times, let's say, and then we can make a larger format, a larger painting, and then we have it. Here I think the only thing I would add is maybe just a little color just over the okay. All right, I hope we had fun here, and this is, again, you'll always hear me say it, have fun with your watercolors, enjoy. Let's work on small comps, and then eventually doing the bigger, larger paintings is no problem. And if we peel off our tape, this makes a perfect small composition to pin up on our wall next to our desk where we work, our studio, our office. Maybe we work in the office and we want to put up a small painting. Maybe people come by, they love it, they want one too. You can create a couple of these, make prints of them, or make a couple for our friends at work. Okay, again, let's see if we could as you can see, nothing too fancy, really just very loose, very free, getting the basic shapes drawn in, and then just putting in the color. And really we used a lot of negative shape painting here. We painted around this white vase quite a bit, the top, around the handle, inside of the handle. So we did a lot of negative shape painting here, painting around an object to make it appear. And as well over here on this side of the vase, we added that paint here to make this side of the vase, accentuate that so that we can see that clearly. And lots of good color and fresh color, and we had a lot of fun doing it. All right, everyone, we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.